Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's exciting episode, Mr. Jake, what movie are we going to be discussing?
We are discussing 2025's Hell of a Summer, directed by Billy Brick and Finn Wolfhard.
This is a very unexpected classic hit in horror, dude.
100%. I
It's
agree.
insane. But before we get into the episode, what would we like to let anybody new who haven't done yet know? Jake?
As always, please like and subscribe on YouTube.
Grow that number for us, guys.
Also find us on Spotify
We're on there.
as well as Apple.
We are.
And always Instagram, J Square Horror Podcast, link tree in the bio, new episodes on Thursdays.
Every once in a while on a Thursday, you'll hear us talking about horror movies. Due to I got a promotion or like a shift at work, a promotion at work. My schedule has been absolutely insane. Me and Jake trying to link up and do an episode. I've just been mentally exhausted and just time consumed. So we're here. We couldn't miss an opportunity to cover this particular movie. Technically speaking, we did do an episode last week that was so egregious. We decided not to put it out.
It was awful.
But if over 25 people comment on any of our platforms combined, we will release that episode. It was on Companion, and it's horrible.
This is news to me.
It is. I just wanted to throw that out there. So if you guys want to hear one of the worst episodes we have ever recorded, so bad, in fact, that we recorded it. It is saved on memory cards. We sat after, looked at each other, and said, nah, that's not going to happen. That was dog shit. It's pretty bad. But if you want to hear a bad episode, let us know. We'll put it out, and it might be your favorite. Who knows? I am super excited to get into Hell of a Summer because it's a cabin slasher.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my gosh. It's such a good time.
We haven't had one in a long time.
No, yeah.
A new one, at least.
Yeah. What do you think the last cabin horror film you watched was? Like new?
New? Let's see. Cabin in the Woods?
New, wow.
Yeah.
That's why. Is that Eli?
No, that's
That's fuck. I always confuse those two.
That's
Bloody Cabin.
Yeah.
Cabin Blood. Blood Cabin.
Or I guess The Strangers.
Yeah, not really.
I mean,
It's like a house.
well, the new one. They're in a cabin out in the woods.
There's a new one?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yep.
Bad?
Yep.
But one thing you had mentioned after we saw this movie, Jake, is you were super excited to talk about what led to us actually sitting down in the seats of the movie theater. So if you've been a fan of the podcast for a while, you know we always talk about our movie theater experience.
Yes,
This was like nothing else. Jake, paint the picture for the fans.
Movie's at 7:10.
7:10.
We get there, 6?
I want to say it was like 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah, like we walked in the doors around 6:30.
We get the little QR code scan for tickets.
Yep, I get ID.
You usher your ID.
Every time.
As always.
The lady in the wheelchair always gets my ID, man.
Every time.
I look so old, people. Might not be able to tell on camera, but your boy's up there.
Hey, you above 18 to buy a ticket? Or?
It's 21 to have multiple.
We look past 21.
I do. I look well over 21.
We walk into the theater.
Yep.
We like to get a little early, you know.
Yeah. Concession line was insane.
Oh, yeah.
That paints the picture later. That paints the picture
it does,
later.
yeah.
Keep walking through the process.
We're going to come back to that.
Yeah, that's why I said it. Concession lines were insane.
We go into the theater, open the door, and I hear it's only Jonah Hill's voice.
Yeah, I did. It looked like it was super bad.
Well, was it really?
Dude, I saw I peeked and saw like a gray shirt with like writing on it. And I was like, where's ain't our movie? And we're approximately 40 minutes early for this movie, which we've done every time we go see a movie almost.
I guess they thought, well, no one's coming to see this shit.
Yeah, because she even said Theater 13 to your right, and we were like, word up. She didn't say, like, hang tight. The movie might not be done yet.
Yeah, just go ahead and sit down. You're good.
Yeah, so Jake went to pee. I went back to the lady that IDs me, and I was like, hey, yo, you sure that's our theater? Because when me and Jake went to see Longlegs, we were in the wrong theater. Our seats were gone. Nothing made sense, which was an indication of that shitty experience of a movie that we had with Longlegs. But this time, for all the bad that led up to it, we're happy it ended as well as it did. But, yeah, so I'm checking with her, and she's like, oh, no, you can only go in 10 minutes before your screening time.
Which is not true.
And I was like, there's no way. I've sat in movie theaters for like 30 minutes before.
10 minutes is what? The previews?
No, 10 minutes is technically, like, previews start at movie start time. But we've been in there and had the little, like, you know,
the little
quizzes.
Yeah, quizzes, a little trivia, a little interview, the lady with the no lip.
Yeah, the lady with the teeth and no lip.
Yeah, she's a weird face.
And then you got the really pretty lady that always does it.
Yeah.
Menunos.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we think, oh, well, we got time. Concessions might be the next best thing. We're thirsty. We're hungry.
Well, no, before that.
Oh, what
we
we do?
Oh,
we posted up. Yeah.
Like creepers.
Yeah, man. So I thought they still had like an art. Like we thought back to our childhoods. Every movie theater in our area had a decent arcade.
Yeah.
So I kind of turned the corner, just 5 claw machines with different prizes.
Pac-Man machine didn't even fucking work.
Pac-Man machine was out of order, so we were screwed. So we just leaned on this little, like, it's like a half a wall. Just kind of leaned on that, and just people watched, and it was fine. But yeah, then we're kind of looking, and we're like, yo. And I kind of peeped the soda machine. I'm like, yo, Jake, look at this shit, dude. Everything is grayed out in this soda machine. Like, everything was not in stock. And I was like, that kind of sucks. So we go, well, let's go peep it, see if we want to go get anything. So we walk over, and the absolute insanity that is the AMC Lynn Haven concession area, dude. Everything is sold out.
Everything.
The icy machines, the soda machines. I even heard the guy say to a customer, he said, yeah, no, we don't have any soda. We just have, like, soda water that y'all can flavor. I was like, what?
But they had... Every machine had mellow yellow.
Every machine had mellow yellow.
And ginger ale.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't know. I guess that's because approximately 1 per 1,000 customers get those drinks. Because like every diet, cherry Coke, cherry Dr. Pepper, vanilla, all of it was gone. And like we were watching people, like they were purchasing the cups because they were still saying that the ices were available, but every ice machine had nothing but red lights. And they would get like a 1/4 ounce of liquid, and then they would just start looking around.
Except
I'm like,
one guy got a full, like, large cup full of it.
He got the rest of it.
Yeah. Right after him labeling up and like pissed out a little bit. And that was it.
Then
she sent her boyfriend.
Yeah, we're just watching. And then we hop in line because we saw some people with bottled sodas, and we're like, I wonder if the bottled soda thing's in action. Yeah. But we looked at the Sprite this lady had, and it didn't look very crisp.
At all.
It looked very right off the shelf. Yeah, and they're drinking, like right there and drinking. I'm like, that's some hot-ass soda.
You tried to talk to her. She just stood there.
Yeah, because I'm one of the AMC Premier folks, I got to jump the line. I literally was standing catty corner to the concession lines, and I just stepped over. And I was in, like, the VIP line because I have the membership per month. And then they hit me with a next, and I walk up. I'm like, dude, what's the bottle soda situation? He's like, we got some. I said, all right, let me get some ice with that. He said, good idea. I said, cool. Then he goes to ring me up, and it was $6.75 per fucking bottle of soda. They weren't even full 20 ounces. They were like the 16.5s.
The best part was you asked if they were cold sodas.
Yeah, I asked if they were cold sodas.
He said, I wouldn't say cold.
I wouldn't say cold.
He said,
yeah. Then I was like, yeah, cup of ice.
Oh, he said, cold is a stretch.
Oh, yeah. My guy he had the most personality for sure. But yeah, then we ordered the cups of ice. Jake's dumbass goes, I'm going to get a 2-for-1 here. I'm going to beat the fucking system because I noticed that there's a fruit like punch thing happening on the soda machine. So he fills his what should have been soda ice cup with this shit, and then it's abysmally bad.
It was awful.
His face personally, and I've seen Jake drink some questionable liquids in our friendship, especially like when it's like day 3 of the horror convention and we got like hot cans in our cooler and we're just trying to keep that hangover just not there yet. But this face that he made was just like, it looked like somebody pissed in his Cheerios.
It was awful.
Consumed it. And then we walk over and he finally like dumps it and kisses eyes. And then we go into the movie theater and we're thinking like, and what's funny is while we were standing off to the side, I pulled up our seating and like tickets for our thing. And we're like, how many people do you think are going to see this? I saw 5 people, 2 being us, 2 others back there and 1 other in front of us. when the movie started, there was 6 altogether, and which sucked because as we're going to get into this episode, which we are both super excited to talk about, I feel like a lot of people missed out on one of the best movie theater movie experiences I've personally had in a significantly long time.
I totally agree.
And it's not that, like, I haven't enjoyed, like, Smile 2 or, like, I haven't enjoyed, like, other aspects. There's something about a horror comedy done right, as all of you know. And if you don't, one of my all-time favorite movies is Shaun of the Dead. And one of the reasons why I love Shaun of the Dead is because all of the humor comes from the reactions and the situations of the movie. They're not really trying to push it to where it's just like you're saying a funny line just to say a funny line. Yeah. It's all contextual. And that's going to lead me into why I also enjoyed Hell of a Summer so much. How'd you feel?
I loved this. Well, we were in the parking lot. I did say to you, I hope it's not too much humor.
Yeah, you said too much humor, and I said I'm pretty sure we're going to walk into a pretty funny movie. Now, I think what you meant is what I was just hinting at, or what I was getting at, is sometimes movies will just put lines in to be funny, and it's not contextually in the movie at all.
You're telling fucking jokes.
Yeah, and you're telling terrible jokes, or like just trying to say like dick and tit. You know, it's like, and that's why I didn't like a lot of horror podcasters for a long time, is I was just like, why are we talking about Ed Gein's mom's rack right now, dude? Like, this is uncomfortable for me. And I'm very much immature in my humor. I'm not above anybody else. And I'm not saying that humor doesn't work for thousands and thousands of people. For me and Jake, one of the reasons we are the friends that we are is because we have very similar humor. Yeah. And we kind of look for and get enjoyment out of the same things. That's why we're able to be friends and find each other funny. We laugh so much on this podcast, people think it's a comedy. But all we're doing is doing inside jokes that we find funny, and our laughs are contagious, and you guys giggle. It's not really that funny at all.
It's really not that funny at all, actually.
But like a lot of times we start the episode laughing because I'm fucking with them while the intro's playing. So it was nice and refreshing to go see. And like Jake said, there is a bit of worry because we're older. Like, me and Jake are in our 30s. We're well into our 30s.
Yeah,
and
the characters.
Yeah, they're young.
And the directors.
Yeah, the directors are the characters.
In their 20s.
And they're young. Yeah, they're young. And you're wondering, like, am I going to be kind of disconnected from this?
Yeah.
And thankfully, because we're both 12 in our heads, it works out very well. I think that this movie is paced beautifully. I think it starts off, I think this is one of the greater starts to a horror comedy in a long time. Because a lot of times you're dealing with, like, The Drive, or like people in the car, they go to like the gas. I'm thinking like Tucker and Dale, you know, stuff like that, where it's like a buildup of like all the characters. Where this is just like you're in the movie, and something's happening, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I love how it starts. You get 2 characters.
Yep. Obviously, a happy couple.
Having a good time.
Yep.
Killed immediately. One off screen, one on screen. Yeah. Which is a common theme throughout this movie. Which we'll get into. Yeah, we'll get into that. I have a theory of why, but we'll get into it because it's, you know, for such horror lovers as ourselves, we love seeing people die on screen. But yeah, you start off and it's like this campfire beside a lake. They're singing the Camp Pineway. Yeah. Camp Pineway theme song, and it's adorable, man. And then she runs off to get another beer, and it's the I'll be back. You know, it's the classic tropes. We're already getting some of this like true horror identity stuff, and you're like, okay. I'm fucking with this. For me, this movie gives me a good combination of Friday the 13th and Scream. Yeah. Had a baby. And the reason is because Scream a lot of times opens up with a kill sequence like this, and then it cuts and goes to like life and characters. And I think the transition is done well because it transitions straight to the boys driving in, having their own little conversations. Yeah. And it's just like, you're already realizing like this is going to be a hoot. Yeah. And you have the greatest... Probably one of the greatest horror characters that have ever existed in Bobby. Yeah. And I just found out before sitting down in this chair that Bobby is the director with Finn. And I'm like, they're best friends in this movie, and it's so great. The two of them, they're dynamic.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful the entire movie.
It's amazing. It's like what men or what you strive to have as male best friends. It's so great. It's so comical. He's just the greatest. I'll get into more reasons of it, of course. But I think that he is probably one of my favorite all time.
So I think a character I enjoyed quite a bit was Jason.
Jason's he's a hoot, man.
And I love, it's camp. You got Jason there.
Yeah, like I said, it's very aware of itself, and I love that. But also, Jason is like, I didn't get to watch 80s horror movies in the 80s, so I didn't have the social dynamics and the kind of ways people were, and there's always that like, you're too old to be here kind of character. And
he was that guy.
His even the car ride with his mom is just terribly awkward, and he's just smiling with his head out the window.
Like a fucking dog.
I'm cold. And it's just, dude, not gonna lie, this lady reminds me so much of my grandmother who raised me, dude. Like, I remember so many car rides like that back from the mall or going to a movie where she's just like, you're a worthless piece of shit. And I can't do anything about it. When are you gonna get your life together? And it was so true and so realistic.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of these characters, but it makes it so relatable. And Jason is just this. I hope this isn't how he is as a real person. I hope he was acting. But his lack of being able to read a room is up there.
He had zero social skills.
Zero social skills.
But he was a super nice guy, though.
A very nice guy.
Very caring.
The most caring.
But I think it was just that Camp Pineway was the most important thing in his life.
It was, and he meant it. Yeah. It was everything to him, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you strive and you have goals, it doesn't have to be societally welcomed, but you better be Jason when it comes to that, because he meant it.
100% all in.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, like me, I dedicated my life to fucking coffee.
Yeah.
I think people think I'm a good person or smart. They probably look at me just like Jason. My grandma has that conversation that they have in the car. Coffee. You really, you just want to keep working in that, huh? Yes, Nancy, I do. No, but it's so good. And then you get there and you realize that everyone feels this way about Jason. And Jason, he cares, but not enough to let it change him. And that's what's so great about Jason. He's like, I hear you guys, but this is who I am.
Yeah, I just don't give a fuck. So.
I don't. But he's, in
the very nice way possible.
Yeah, I don't give a hoot. It's probably something Jason would say. All right, so we got the main characters, which this had way too many names for me to remember them all.
And there's Chris.
Yep.
Claire.
Yep.
Haley.
No.
Damn.
Mike. There's a Miley.
Okay.
Yep.
Mike.
Mike is definitely one.
Is it Demi?
Demi. Yeah.
Okay. And Bobby.
Yep.
And that is all I got.
So you're forgetting the actor or the production guy, the guy that was trying to put on the play. Ezra.
Then it's Ari.
Ari.
Yeah.
Yes. Good job.
Now the Ezra character I also enjoyed too.
Yes. Ezra was he was something else. So you get it. And it's perfect because there's no little kids in this movie at all, which is very Friday the 13th-esque. It happens during the camp counselors pre-week.
Yeah.
So they can all get comfortable. They can all learn the way things are going to go. They can all have a good time before they have to, like, really buckle down and be, like, watching and keeping an eye on everything. So that's where we're at. That's the painted picture for this movie. And it has everything. So you got the drinking, you got the smoking, you got the bullying, you got the who's going to sleep with who's hooking up with who. And it's modernized for sure. But also, is it Mike? Chris. That's Finn's name.
Yeah.
He is the, like, I care about women so much that it's my whole identity. And it's very, I guess, like today, for sure. That would have never happened in 1983.
No.
Like, that character wouldn't have been the guy that was guaranteed to get laid during the trip. But it all plays along into, like, different parts later on in the movie. Everybody's character becomes either the reason that they survive or the reason that they die. Yeah. And I think that is something that is so great. And especially a movie that's set up this way, because you meet them, get to know them. And then when they're in situations, you're thinking like, oh yeah, well, this is it. This is when it's gonna happen. And I loved it, man. It was so great. So we'll talk about it. It's an elephant in our room for sure.
Okay.
So we have more off-screen kills than on-screen kills.
Yes.
Now we figure out some why later, like in the movie, not like personal reasons of why I think they went this direction, right? So you realize, oh, this is very Scream-esque.
Yeah.
There's certain shit that might not be adding up the way it should. I think it was budget. I think that they could afford to do the ones they did, and the ones that they did, they spent the right money on and did it right.
They did look good.
Yeah, so I don't think they wanted to waste the entire budget on all the kills.
Yeah.
Which is just my assumption after talking with Peter Anthony and learning about like when point, you choose to do this and when you don't.
Yeah.
Because like Peter said, like he had a 10-minute crazy kill that cost $30,000 to do, and they gave him 37 seconds.
And I think they used it on the right characters too.
So that's the thing. So Ezra is the best kill in the movie.
Yeah.
By far.
I agree.
It is right up there with the Terrifier kill.
Okay.
Looks just as good. But it's interesting that it's the person that wanted to create a play.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that played into their thinking of why he got the most glorious kill? He's not the most important character by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it played out so well that that's how he went.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking it because he's like, oh, this isn't how I would do this. Oh, I wouldn't have written it this way.
He is very over the top, very theatrical.
Yeah.
So I think, him being killed on the theater stage too was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. And it was like, so there's just so many parts that we probably are going to forget to mention.
Now, is that your favorite kill?
I will wait for that. That's still a little bit down the road. All right. Ari.
Yeah.
The director, the actual, and not of the movie. He's like a screenwriter in the movie, and
with the nut allergy.
With the nut allergy.
Yeah.
The way so leading up to his kill is funny because Jason runs off and finds Demi in her bunk killed, and he's freaked. It's funny. He doesn't act professional. He doesn't act put together. He is running full speed and screaming bloody murder, and it's awesome. The realisticness of this movie of like, I feel like you have to put in the fact that you're aware of like a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is crazy that this is happening, but it's also fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Because people I know are dying. And he plays it well, so they have to, what is it? It's not draw sticks, it's pick cards.
Yeah.
And whoever the two lowest cards are have to go with Jason to go. Because once again, everybody's like, fuck that, we're staying here.
Yeah.
Because they know, they've seen these movies. Like, they've seen shit like this already.
Yeah, you can't go out there.
So it's not 1986 anymore, guys. We've had 30 to 40 years of knowledge of these kind of situations. So you're going to
just go out there.
Well, he's so caring. He wants everybody to be okay.
And Claire's like, no, no, you can't go on your own.
And then they draw cards. And the two that go are Ari and Ezra.
Yeah.
And they go off with their fucking $5.
Well, before that,
yeah.
When they're doing that, is it Bobby who asked?
Yeah.
Is an ace high or low?
Yeah. Then the dialogue in this movie is fucking great. And like, winner ace is low, and then they go through all that.
Yeah, but this is high. Then they ask, why would you want it to be low?
Bobby throughout this entire movie is my hero. And Jake can attest for this. I keeled over almost out of my seat multiple times in this movie because of Bobby and Bobby alone. But when they go off on this little adventure, it's so real, man. It's like, I'm imagining that this is how it would go. Well, no, did the Ouija board happen already? Or is that post?
That is post, because that's when they get back.
But a couple people are already missing.
Yeah, so they're...
No, it was pre.
No, it's because Ezra, when it went out there, his eyes were messed up. So it had been post, right?
It was pre. Because all of them are there.
Yeah.
The girl that they find the head of.
Yeah.
Was a part of the Ouija board, wasn't? No, she wasn't.
No.
It was Post?
It was Post. Because they go out. That's when, they find the head.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jason comes back.
Yeah. Then they all decide, like, shit's real.
Yeah.
But all right, so, sorry. when they're searching, it's so great because they're, like, in one of the buildings at the campsite. And they have those, like, I've mentioned it on the podcast before. They're like the Dollar General special flashlights. Yeah. So you shake them too much, the light goes off. Which you see in this movie, which is awesome. Cheapest flashlights that have ever been made that everybody has in their garages to this day.
Yeah.
Put a couple of those fat-ass D batteries in there and call it a day. And they're looking, and it's like their scaredness, but as soon as they open that fridge, because they see a blood trail coming down from the fridge, so obviously you're going to check it. The panic that ensues was so realistic, where nobody has a plan. Everybody's just scattering.
Yeah.
Jason's the only smart one because he says, I'm going back to where I know everybody else is. And the other two go missing.
Don't know where they went. Oh, he went to the theater.
Yeah, he went to the theater to go.
His safe place.
Yeah.
And Ari, I didn't like Ari's character. Only because he reminded me of Timothy Chalamet playing Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Yeah. While somehow playing the director of that.
So you know what? Yeah. I hate that guy.
Yeah, I didn't like him either. But throughout the movie, you realize that he has this nut allergy because he makes this whole stink about it.
Because 26%.
26%. Oh, that's the comment. The dialogue in this movie is amazing. So they come back, and it cuts to him being tortured, and it's genius. It's genius. Which would have given you an indication, like, how would the killer have known this? Once you get to know who the killer is, you figure out why. But
I did think it had to have been someone they all knew.
I knew it was one of them.
Yeah.
I did. I just didn't know who yet.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised that one of them was, but it makes sense to the whole character. So he has this nut allergy, and the killer has the knife kind of around him, and then he just walks off. And he kind of like peeled the tape down at one point, just kind of screaming. And then he fucking slowly undoes a jar of peanut butter, right? And it's super cinematic, too. Great lighting, great camera angle, just like real slow. Opens that peanut butter lid, perfect level peanut butter. Takes the knife, dips it right in, pulls it out, and has just enough residue on it to where you're like, oh, he's going to stab him with this fucking knife and put him in anaphylactic shock. So he's not going to stab him deep enough to kill him, but he's going to cause him to fucking, and it cuts, which I was a little bummed about that one because I would have liked to seen him struggle more. I think that's it. I don't necessarily have to see the kill itself.
So I didn't mind that. I like seeing his body afterwards.
He's pulling him out. His face is blown. Yeah. So his allergy was real. Yeah.
Which I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it's funny that's how they did it. He's like getting pulled into the woods by the killer, and he's just balloon eyes
swollen.
Yeah, just everything. So one of my favorite scenes in this entire movie is the Ouija board scene. There's a reason that this means a lot to me and Jake that I cannot divulge yet, but it's insane that this even exists.
It was so good
at all. Because when we saw the preview, we almost died ourselves because of what we know and talked about.
Yeah.
So they are doing the Ouija board because of the weird, like, emo-y, like, witchcraft goth girl. And they're doing it, and it's like IDK, which is hilarious because it's like, would be like if one of the teenagers got killed, was talking. And I think they did hint at it being Demi once. And they're doing it, and, oh, yeah, that's right, because he busts in the door. You're right. So they're doing this while the other guy's gone. And then Bobby's like super skeptical. What I loved about Bobby's, he reminded me of Jake so much in this scene where everybody's on board. And Bobby's just laying on the couch like, I ain't about that. Ghosts? There's some shit you don't mess with. And he's just like not about it. They're like, dude, come on. And then just because it was like two dudes you had to hold hands with, he's like, actually, let me sit between two girls. It's this little shit about Bobby throughout the entire movie that he stays true to himself. And they do this, and as soon as it's getting like super intense, Ezra.
Actually, before that though, when they were doing it,
The girl says every spirit. Whoa.
Yeah.
in the every spirit.
He's so great, dude. I think that's the part that had me killed over. It just reminded me of Me and You Ever Did It, dude. It just had me rolling. So yeah, Ezra busts in the door. And so earlier he shows that he has bear spray and he's fully on board with that. This was a bear.
100%.
And he's like, she was fucked up in the cabin and I threw a tofu burger out earlier. He didn't like the tofu.
So he wanted the
real deal. And it's just like, his logic is solid.
Yeah.
It's not the worst logic out there.
I think Claire asked, what do you think burgers are made of?
And so when he busts through that door, man, he sprays him in the face, screams ghost.
Ghost!
It was so amazing. This movie has great parts, man. Everything in it's so funny.
But it's great. It does make sense, though, if you're watching the movie, to think Jason could potentially be the killer.
Sure. It's definitely not off the table at all. No. We don't know because all we've seen is cutscenes. And he's never been he's never been accounted for when kills happen.
And he knows he can't let the back of his hand.
Yep. He's also been picked on and bullied by these people.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to kill the prettiest one first because you never had a chance with it.
And his name's Jason at a campsite. Come on now.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
It's a layup right there.
So because of that, when that guy busts back in, he's like, I know who the killer is. Everybody's like, who? And he's like, Jason. They immediately all turn on him.
Yes,
minus
immediately.
one, which is Claire.
I knew it was Jason.
Yeah, everybody's like, it fucking makes sense. And he's just sitting there like, guys, I am right here. And then they tie him up, and then they go off to torture him.
They were going to waterboard the shit out of him.
Yeah, dude. They're looking for anything and everything. They literally open up a drawer, and it's like pizza knife and knives. Like, it's not good enough. And just like throwing it back. And it's like a bunch of kids that have obviously seen like Saw. Or like, and they're just thinking of the most fucked up sadistic shit to torture him with. Yeah. And it's so great because that's like, it seems so real for a time like now.
I also loved her in that scene where Bobby is disgruntled about the order in which people are being killed. Yeah, because
they're saying that they're being killed because they're the hottest.
Yeah.
And he's like, well.
That's accurate.
I don't think that's accurate at all. And then, so when they tie up Jason, Bobby elects to stay behind so he can like interrogate him on why he wasn't hot enough. And he's like, well, just like kill me too. But like, say that I was because we were hot. And it's hilarious, man. Like his logic.
And just say you killed me first.
Yeah. Just the order of it. I was first because I'm the hottest. And you got to think, this movie starts off with him questioning a puka necklace, if that gives you any indication of who Bobby is. And it's just from there, it's just a light show. It's amazing. So they they tie him up. They're going to torture him. And then they're off.
Trying to find their phones.
Yeah. Claire comes back, unties them, and they run off into the woods.
Yeah. Knocked Bobby out with a fire extinguisher.
Oh, yeah. It was brutal. Knocked him out cold. Bobby just gets fucked up in this movie, dude.
In that scene, I also thought was funny. So after she cuts his hands unfree, she goes to do his neck. Like, oh,
yeah.
I got it.
I think that could have been because he wasn't even sure if she was the killer.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he was skeptical at that moment. At that moment, he's like, hey.
It was real quick, though.
He's like, I got it.
I got it.
And it was like loose. He just shows their skills of not knowing how to do any of that.
But if it was him,
oh yeah,
he would kill somebody with that thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's a pro.
He's the pro.
Well, when they're out trying to find their phones or whatever, I can't remember the girl's name.
Yeah, it was the vegan.
No, the girl who was reading the seance.
Oh yeah. When she wanders into the hut.
Yeah.
With all the.
And when she gets killed.
Yeah, she says, finally. Yeah.
Like,
it's such an aware movie, dude.
It is, yeah.
Like, they are like, I'm hot too. I think that's what she was thinking when she got killed. Yeah.
But then, as you go back to when they were going to tie up Jason, he said, you think I'm weird? Was anybody?
Yeah.
It should be her.
That part is so, because she's like dark and mysterious, and and they're like, hey, that's not nice.
Say sorry, Jason.
Yeah. And they're literally doing that to him, but mad that he does it to one of them. It's so fucking funny, man. He literally is like, but her.
That should be your number one choice.
Yeah. And then they find when Claire and Jason are out wandering, they find the bodies of the owners of the camp. And that's when Jason's like, oh, shit, help isn't coming. We're the only help they have. And she's like, no, we need to go get help. And I'm like, she doesn't have a bad idea here.
I mean, not a bad idea.
But it's 30 miles.
Jason's not going to leave.
He's not leaving.
He told you, we're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Let's think logically.
He was. But he also wants to make sure that he does everything in his power to make everyone safe.
I mean, he is the lead counselor.
Yes.
He takes his made-up position very seriously.
So when that girl dies, while people are wandering around, you find out that 2 people that were already thought to have been killed aren't dead yet.
Yeah.
Which is Mike and
Demi.
And then you immediately put the pieces together.
Yeah.
So and it pits the pieces together in front of your face.
Yeah. And it's funny when Chris finds them, they're about to kill Chris, it looked like.
Yeah.
You see her reach for a knife, he's like, you're alive.
Yeah.
Which would not be anyone's first reaction.
No. Well, yeah. Obviously, he knows the least about horror movies.
I was saying, so you guys
are y'all motherfuckers. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll let everyone else know.
Yeah.
Free Jason.
Hashtag free Jason. Of course you would say that.
Of course I would.
Then it turns into they have this plan now where it's like they all think Jason did it, so we're the killers, but they're only doing this to become popular.
Yeah.
To get the clout that a serial killer gets. And even throughout this movie, Demi's pissed at the fact that she has to be a victim versus the killer the entire time. She doesn't like that. She knows that the killer will live in infamy a lot longer than the survivor.
Which is very true.
Which is true in any instance. In the real world or in horror, it's always the killer. And you get this, and then it turns into this, it's a very much cat versus mouse, Scooby-Doo-esque. In a lot of doors, out a lot of doors, a lot of moving parts, people all around. Who's who's into the mask, who's not. And it's a good time. And you get, this is when Jason gets captured because he falls through the window with Mike, like, getting ready.
Yeah, his goofy ass. Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, he has an axe that he doesn't get to use a single fucking time. Like, he got that axe and was like, I'm doing this shit.
And ran with it forever.
Yeah. And had the flashlight go out on him when he finally got to the side of the house. It's all so realistic. There's no moment where you think like this would never happen. This is probably one of the more realistic cap and slashers of all time.
I agree.
And it's like their motives make sense. The characters are awesome. There's enough humor in it to keep everyone entertained. And then it kind of goes and becomes this. Instead of a slasher, it becomes like a Goonies movie or like the little guy is going to make it. It's going to happen. And you start seeing these pieces fall together. But there's still going to be some heartache and heartbreak kind of in between there, which is when you get some of the final fights, which I thought was done very well.
I do too. I thought Chris was going to die.
I thought Chris was going to die for sure because everybody loved him.
Yeah.
He was the just... did no wrong throughout the entire movie. He made everybody feel included. He really tried. He was on the fence against Jason. That's his biggest downfall. But he was so concerned with getting his girl.
Yeah.
But
his boy Bobby.
Boy Bobby had his back.
Came and saved the day.
And so there's a scene earlier, really early on, where Bobby has this bright idea to jump over a fire with this barely makeshift together ramp. And it just brings me, guys like me and Jake back, dude. It just reminds me of every bit of 11 to 16. Like, we did shit like this every weekend, dude. And it was awesome. They're chanting for him, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. And he's sitting there. He's got the bike helmet on. He's got the bike. And somebody's like, don't be a pussy. And he just
throws it off.
Throws the bike down.
I'm out here risking my life for your entertainment. And you're going to call me a pussy? I'm not going to do it now.
It's over. And then they're booing. And like, see, they're booing you.
I love it. Boo.
Good old Jake boos. And just the fact that he thinks that they're booing Ari. Yeah. They're booing you, dude. And he's like, yeah, see, they're even booing you. And he just storms off. He's so much himself throughout this entire movie.
Bobby is so good.
Bobby's the greatest. And then, so leading up to this, I think they get separated or they hear a scream. I can't remember exactly how the groups got this way, but Mike ends up getting lost and chased. I don't remember exactly the lead up to that, Or Chris, sorry.
Mike.
I keep calling him Mike from Stranger Things. Yeah. That's what I think, but it's Chris.
I think it's when, they heard Ezra getting killed.
So Ezra's kill was cool because they're in the main area and it's all behind the curtain. He's like doing some crazy shit, and then because he can't see the girl Claire, I think her name. I can't remember her name. She's like Shannon. She's like, run! She's like, to the right. And he's like, stage right? She's like, I don't know what that means. And he's still blinded from the bear mace, and he just gets an axe right into the head, which is because Jason dropped the axe when he fell into the window and gave him another weapon.
Well, I love before then, he kicked him in the side of the leg.
Oh, he snapped his leg.
His chest and fell down to his knees.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So
that was cool.
You have nowhere to go.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
Can you imagine? And you can't see?
You're fucked, dude. And then it hits him, and it's crystal clear. There's scalp, there's skull, there's blood, and he's just kind of like there twitching dead.
So good.
It was really, really good. And then Mike, he gets chased because he runs back in and then sees him. He runs back behind all this production stuff.
He makes makes noise.
Yeah. Oh, he kicks the band. He's so unaware, but he's so great. And then they realize, Shannon and Bobby realize that Chris is about to get got.
Yeah.
So they run over there and they're about to go in. And she's like Bobby's trying to hype himself up for it. And
he's ready.
This is why I mentioned the Bobby chant, the pussy thing earlier. So he's about to go in and she goes, don't do this. It's suicide. And he goes, why would you say that right now? And it's so awesome.
Why would you say it's suicide?
Yeah.
You think I can get him out?
You think I can't do this? You think I'm incapable? His rationality for these arguments is so awesome. And then he says fuck it and goes for it. And
opens the door. Hey.
Yeah. He's ready to fight.
Shit. He takes off.
And then she goes and saves Chris. And then, man, Bobby has the longest fight scene in this movie,
which he deserved.
It was epic. He's getting tuned up the entire time.
Because
he's the most jealous of
what, Shannon and Chris? Oh, Mike.
Mike, yeah. He's the most jealous of Mike, and now that it's mano-a-mano, he's realizing that he's getting fucked up.
Because Mike's a conventionally handsome asshole.
Yeah, conventionally handsome asshole, yes. And it's funny because he has this idea while he's getting beat up to grab a log out of the fire, and he thinks back to the chants, Bobby, Bobby. He grabs it. It's hot as shit. It's been burning in this oven for hours. Tosses it, and then the fucking cabin starts to burn. And then they get into fighting, and at one point, there's the trophy for winning the championship of this as a Swiss Army knife, and that comes into play. And it's weird. There's this whole he's hard because he's beating him up and about to kill him.
Yeah,
that stuff's a little weird. But then he fucking gets that pocket knife, stabs him right in the neck.
Yeah, because Mike kept telling the story about him.
Oh, he
drop kicked a police officer.
Yeah. And he used the line while he stabbed him.
Yeah, I lied or something.
I lied. Yeah. And then he gets stabbed in the gut, and you're like, fuck.
Bobby's dead.
And Jason. Oh, so there's a scene earlier where Claire is trying to shoot a bow and arrow, and Jason uses that same conversation. So Claire comes back for Jason, and Jason's about to be tortured and killed by
Demi.
Yeah. Thank you. There's so many names, dude. My mind just
there are a lot of names.
Yeah. And it's awesome because the conversation that they had could also be used as a motivational conversation, which it was.
Yeah.
And it was to pull back and let go, or to step back and let go.
Yeah.
Or push forward.
Yeah.
And you have to let go.
Yeah.
So you have to push forward to get out of this.
Yeah. He tells her earlier
you need to let go.
In order to get the perfect ending, don't think of it as a pull, think of it as a push.
Push forward.
Yeah.
Yep. So he uses that, and she shoots Demi right in the eye.
Right in the eye.
And then Scream double tap rules apply. And she's untying him, and then she wakes up and tries to grab something. She just fucking boots the arrow through her brain.
Dead.
So now you're realizing, and this is the reason why I said it really stops becoming a slasher. Once Jason gets captured, it's no longer really a slasher anymore. Yeah. they're running out of ideas and their plan's going to shit. Everyone knows who
this. He's got to fucking figure it out.
Yeah, too many things are happening for them to keep getting away with what they have because they are just teenagers. They're dumb teenagers that are trying to get popularity out of murdering people. And once they both die, you're kind of sitting there like, oh.
But I think
that's how it ends.
Well, I thought about that. I don't think Chris and Shannon ever knew it was them.
No.
At no point. So when they ever came around to it not being Jason.
Yeah. Oh, shit, yeah.
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 I'm sure Bobby probably told him that he was, supposedly bleeding out from his 2-inch cut.
He's like, yeah, because Jason runs out there. And because Jason saves him, he runs into the burning building and gets him and then takes him out to safety. And it's this whole dramatic, to make sure to tell people I died a hero. And Jason so realistically, and he pulls the knife out of his stomach to give to Jason because it's the prize that Jason's always wanted. He's always been runner-up 5 years in a row. And he's like, yeah, you're not going to die from that, dude. It's like a 2-inch cut. Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay.
And also, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. That's really bad for
you. You're to bleed out.
He's like, yeah, make sure they know I died a hero. It's just so awesome, man, because he stayed himself to the end. And then the icing on the cake is that Jason finally kisses Claire, and everything's all good in the world, and it fucking ends.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your favorite kill out of the ones that we saw or the ones that almost happened?
My favorite kill was Demi's kill.
Demi's kill was great.
Because I liked that conversation.
Yeah.
Having that double meaning to it.
Yeah.
The fact she nailed it right in the fucking
genius
eye.
writing, too.
Yeah.
Like, just for that to work. Because, like, the killer wouldn't have known.
True.
That he was doing that.
He was coaching her through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had no idea.
Genius.
It was very good.
Genius, full circle moment. What do we love, man? We love full circle moments.
Him screaming, "Let go!"
Yeah. Which the killer thought he was screaming, "Let go of me, let go of him," because they did have this.
Imagine the arrow coming that fucking fast at your face. God damn.
Also, still don't know how he didn't get a nick.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But it's cool. The knife was like at his neck the entire time. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. What about you?
I think epicness, Mike.
Okay.
Best looking is going to be the axe, but I love Bobby so much that he finally got a win in this entire movie and almost got a loss. It took an L, but it's the fact that it was that dramatic and it was just a 2-inch little belly boo-boo.
He was fighting so hard for a win the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he's washing Chris's car.
Yeah.
Like, why are you washing Chris's car?
Well,
it's Chris's stepdad's car, actually. Which makes it no better at all.
It's even worse now. Yeah, I think that one was my actual, like, contextually and in the movie as a good time. All right, so on a scale from 1 to 10, man, what do you give this guy? What do you give this movie?
On a scale from 1 to 10.
That's what I asked.
This movie is a 9.
Nice.
What about you?
Dude, it's a 9.
Yeah.
I almost said 9.5, but it's a solid 9. Yeah. I can't wait to watch it again. I can't wait to own a physical copy of this movie. This is going to be a movie that I show every single person in my life for as long as I live.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
This will be my new "Can I Date You" movie. You know, it's like if you can't enjoy this, no. Like Shaun of the Dead, everybody knows about it. It's been around for 20 years now. It's run its course. It's not like out of my life by any stretch of the imagination, but I now have something that I can use that's newer and funnier.
Yeah.
Not funnier, newer and enjoyable right now. But I think it's super cool that the directors are the two of the characters in this movie. I can't say main because they did such a good job of sharing the wealth between all the characters, which I love about this movie. You don't know who's the main. Of course, you have the bigger faces being Finn from Stranger Things and things, but I thought that really it had to have taken a lot for them to be humble enough to not only write, to not only direct, but to also create such relatable characters, funny characters, and also not have them be the main attraction of this entire fucking movie.
I enjoy the smart thing, using Finn in the trailer.
Yeah, it was genius because you're getting people to want to watch it.
But there are a portion where he's not in the movie at all.
Yeah, and honestly, Jason is the main character of this movie.
He is,
He is beginning to end.
It's centered around
the
him.
arc. Yeah,
exactly.
He gets everything.
Yeah.
Yep. So I love that. I love that they gave a character like that. A lot of times that character is going to die 9 times out of 10 in a horror flick.
Or it's going to be the killer.
Or he's going to be the killer. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So to use that to keep people wondering and questioning out throughout this movie is fun. So my next question is going to be, at what who did you think the killer was at any point? And which one were you surprised by? Because you did mention earlier that you didn't know that one of them was. So did you get any of them right, or who did you think the killer was for the majority of our before we found out?
So I thought the killer was someone who wasn't introduced yet.
Okay.
I thought it was someone that they knew from going to camp with them previous years.
Yeah.
Because it made sense when Ezra said it's someone that knows all of us.
Yeah.
So that made sense to me. And looking back on it, not seeing the kills, because the only two you don't see or see like a dead body, like a confirmed dead body, is Mike and Demi.
Yeah.
But if anyone was to be a killer, I would think Demi.
Yeah.
And Mike's just dumb, just going to go along with it. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Who do you think it was?
I thought it was Mike.
That was just Mike.
I thought it was just Mike.
Okay.
I didn't know
why. Is that?
Why. I knew, well, when he got killed, it was the least dramatic thing in the entire movie. Yeah. Demi's body was found. Mm-hmm. The other characters were off screen to an extent. Like the girl that got her head cut off, like we didn't see it until we found her head in the fridge. But something about Mike, and I should have probably put the Demi thing together, but Mike was on the top of my radar. Size, build, athleticism, trying to be the center of attention the whole time. Maybe was overcompensating.
Also, speaking of that, made you think of Scream.
Yeah.
Our biggest complaint with the different kills, the different size differences.
Yes.
When Mike walked through the door and Claire hits him over the head, knocks him down. And Claire goes, "Where's Mike?" And Barbie's like, "Right there." She's like, "Are you serious? Yeah. You think that's Jason?"
Yeah. So I thought that's what I thought. I didn't necessarily put the pieces together, but from what the movie was giving me, I thought maybe he was like just trying to be that like main person, like because that story was never completed. You never got to hear the full story.
You probably fucking made it up anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he wasn't as tough. In order to be the toughest, you kill.
Yeah.
But I like the dynamic of that. Honestly, I think that it's super cool because one of the we covered The Substance recently, and we had a great time. We covered it, people interacting. It was awesome. It was a good time. Then we tried Companion, wasn't the greatest. But it's also, once again, another female-led horror idea as far as a killer is concerned. And I think that's really, really healthy and really cool for the horror community. Not in the sense of, like, we need more women killers. But I think that when they do it right, it's done very well.
So that brings you to the conversation her and Jason were having.
Yeah.
When Jason goes, "This isn't you."
Yeah.
And then she immediately, my teenage or my female hormonal mind can't make decisions on its own, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, she's a brains operation.
Yeah, and
she's just bringing Mike's dumbass along.
Even in that moment, she snaps.
Yeah,
like she's like, "Oh no, you really fucking think I can't do this?" And you're like, "Oh my god!" So that's what the problem with trying to be a TikTok superstar is, man.
Yeah,
and I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was good
because usually that girl's the first to die, which she was on paper.
Yeah,
and she's just no survival instinct. It's always the cliche tropes. It's always that. So I like that they used that, but also twisted it completely.
Yeah,
and that being the killer, because it makes sense. It makes the most sense in today's society that would be the case. And I thought it was cool. And instead of the girl or the mom or the sister or somebody like in the Scream 6, how it's the little girl who's kind of brainwashed by the dude.
Yeah.
It's flipped.
Yeah.
And I think that's genius. Yeah. I think that's actually really, really cool. And I loved every second of that. No idea what we're covering next week. I'm sure something might come out, or next episode. Sorry, I didn't mean to say next week.
I mean, you guys might see Companion.
You might see Companion if enough of you guys comment.
If you do your part.
If you do your part,
you'll see Companion.
You'll have back-to-back episodes if you do your part.
And then you guys want that.
Yeah. More J Squared horror. But
just want to see us in May, whatever.
Everybody go see this movie. It's
everybody.
But I know we spoiled the whole thing.
Don't go to Lynnhaven, though.
I mean, do it. Maybe they'll like keep concessions going.
Maybe they'll close them down. And finally allow people.
Yeah, let us bring in our food.
Bring your own shit in. You don't have it.
I said that in the theater.
Yeah, you did say that.
I was like, maybe this will finally, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Was AMC Lynnhaven on April 6th at 7:00 at night.
If you do not have it, allow me to bring it.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. Yeah. We'll still come. We'll still buy tickets.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out how to make movie theaters successful again. Just give us snackies. Yeah. Affordable snacks and affordable movie ticket pricing.
Also, I signed that petition to keep open.
Yeah, guys, for everybody local in the 757, they're trying to change. Go ahead. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Beach Cinema Ale House.
Beach Cinema Ale House into a fucking mega church, dude. Let's not let that happen. Beach Movie Ale House or whatever it's called.
Beach Movie Bistro?
Yes.
It used to be one of the two and they changed the name.
Yeah.
I think it used to be Ale House, now
it's on Laskin.
Yeah.
And it's the only local theater other than Norfolk, the Narrow, which is like more of like a artsy kind of, they do like small movies and stuff. But this is an actual movie theater.
One fucking theater in there.
Yeah. That puts out new movies, and it's great for the local community to keep theaters in existence and to keep movies in front of people.
And they got food there.
They have food. It's like a local
cinema cafe,
but they're trying to change it into a mega church. And if you can look online, there's a petition to sign. I can share it on our social medias.
Yeah.
I will immediately. Jeff Tarkenton actually is the one that posted it originally. So shout out to you, Jeff, for trying to keep everything local in 757.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're awesome, dude. You inspired me to sign it and to mention it on the episode. Hopefully it's not over yet. But yeah, let's not let that happen. And if it does, let's go fucking graffiti the shit out of it and make sure that they're very unhappy being there. Also, the traffic on Laskin will be fucking miserable if a mega church goes there.
Awful.
But local businesses, it's hard to come by in the 757 area, and it breaks my heart because I love this area and I love people doing what they love. So, yeah, if it happens, let's destroy that church in a non-threatening way, government. If somehow it gets like burned up, like Josh Goodman of J Square Horror initiated a riot. Yeah, man, thank you guys so much for always tuning in. Sorry it's been so long and so few in between episodes, but we're trying to get everything figured out. We're trying to do some exciting things coming up in the future, and we'll let you guys know as soon as an episode idea comes out, roughly when it should come out and what we're going to be covering. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great time, and remember, it's hip to be squared.